Hello and welcome to the stream. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. So I have already uploaded yesterday and I did a lot of testing yesterday in order to really because I just find that I haven't uploaded any build guide this past week, and I see already that the this golem build is already like almost close to be optimized. So I just so I thought yesterday that I just needed to do some testing, and then there it is. So I was able to upload the build guide video for the golem, and I did some updates on the notes, and at the same time I already updated the build planner as well. And before we continue playing, I also did some testing right after a few hours right after I uploaded the video. I was kind of checking whether if some of our effects and buffs from our Paragon board, our aspect, is really working as they should be. And I hope I don't have any bug yesterday, that today is gonna be okay. I just found out yesterday that the multiplier damage from the hulking monstrosity on the sacrifice of the minion are not working properly. So we can test it today. So let me check. I believe I have save. Okay, this one. So let me refund all of the... Do I need to refund all of the Paragon board, or maybe just the glyphs? And then I'm just gonna remove this. All of the... Then this one, the cult leader, I'm gonna remove that. So no glyphs equip, no legendary node. I don't mind the intelligence and whatever that we have. And then let's remove all of our items, and then let's add let's remove the grey bloom so that we will have just one golem. And then options, gameplay, normal damage. Okay, so I have a weapon yesterday, this one. I think the variance is already removed, so he is now hitting for 49.4k. Maybe let's remove the upgrade, because I believe that's the one causing the double damage, this one. If I choose this one, revive. Now attack. Okay, 49k, 49.4k. Alright. So right now we have base weapon damage of 1766, critical strike damage, vulnerable damage. We don't have any additive, but we have a multiplier. Let me get this amulet that I crafted yesterday. I think I have a multiplier on vulnerable, I think. And maybe let's remove this one. I know that this is working, the 175. So we have no additive. We have plus 70, plus 65. Damage with shadow, no. Golem 162.5, 45 on elites. This is not an elite. Let's grab an elite. Now it's 52.3, so because this one is now being added. Healthy, enemy is healthy, so we have 25. 45, we're not fortified, so we're not getting this additional 30%. Now, let's go to the damage calculator that I have created before. So, weapon damage 166. Let's turn off the vulnerable. Now, we have summoning damage, right? We have the 70. We have the 70, 65, So I have placed them in order. So 70, 65, so that's correct. Damage with golem 162.5, damage with elites 45, healthy 25, injured, so we're not considering it as an injured. We're not 45, we're not getting that 30. And what else? So no overpower. Piece of the Black Shroud, that 175 is activated. No Paragon Board, Legendary Node activated. It says here that we should be dealing 51.9k. Let's check what is our intelligence. Intelligence is 911. Okay, 911, and our passive attack on our golem, we now have 469. So we should be hitting around 45.5. 52.3. So what is we're missing here? No additive, no additive. Summon 70. All damage 65. 162.5. Where is the 162.5? 45. And then intelligence at 911. 1766. I don't have anything here. $52.3. What is I'm missing? This is 469. Maybe because of this, the 15. Okay, this one. So we have to add that 15. So this one, I believe this is the how much we're doing, 52.3. So if we add the additional 15 from the sacrifice of, so that's the one, 52.3. So that's correct. The sacrifice from the mages here, oh sorry, here. So if we add the 15, so now it shows now the 52.3. So that's the damage that we're seeing at the dummy. So let's just say let's unsacrifice. So if we unsacrifice the warrior, right, so we are doing 45.5. So if we turn this off, 45.5. So that is correct, right? So the sacrifice of the warrior, that 15% is applying correctly. Now let's try the mages. So the mages is we're using cold. So when we apply vulnerable to the enemy, so it will gain, the mages will add 20% additional damage. So we are turning off the warrior, so we should be expecting 54.6k. So let's turn on this one, damage to vulnerable to enemies, and then let's remove the warrior, and then let's add the Iron Maiden, and then let's shift the Iron Maiden to apply vulnerable. So again, the damage should be 54.6 when we apply the vulnerable. That is the bonus from the mages. $81.2. That's the one, 81.2. So here it's 81.333. So I didn't turn off, because I turned off the vulnerable. I forgot that if I need to apply the 20%, and then on the amulet we have that 24% here. So I have added the 24% on the amulet, and then same thing with the critical strike multiplier on the amulet as well. So when we turn it off, so it reached 81.33. So by this testing, we have now proven that the sacrifice upgrade of the skeleton warriors are applying to our damage, which is the golem is inheriting also. Can I see your crit? Can I use a... It's going to increase our intelligence, but it's just intelligence of 1046. Let's update everything so that we can crit more frequently. So intelligence of 1046, and then I think there is critical strike damage of additional 23. So let's add that in. So additional critical strike damage on one of the rings. So we have critical strike damage, so that is 23. And then now we turn on the critical strike damage, turn off the vulnerable. So we should be expecting normal at 58.9, and then 132, 682. Intelligence 146. No minions are dying. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the only difficult part when there with so because I turn on the skeleton mages, so we are turning off the mages. So normal damage at 49.1, crit strike at 110.5k, and that is the one that we're seeing here now, 49, and then 110k on crit. I just added the pack of bones, so the pack of bone is also now we are seeing that we have increased. So now we are doing frequent critical striking, and based on the additional critical strike damage, so basically everything is working and our calculator is working properly. Now let's unsacrifice the... So what we have concluded here is that the sacrifice bonuses on our minions, on our skeletons, are applying. Now the next test is, so we unsacrifice the minions so that we are not getting that additional multiplier from them. Now the hulking monstrosity, according to the effect, this gives an additional 100% increase in damage to the golem. Let's disregard the 60% multiplier for now. So let's go back to our calculator. So if I add the hulking monstrosity at 100%, so our damage now is 98.2k and 221k. So let's see. There you go, 220. The normal damage 98.2k. So that is close to what we have on our calculator. So this also proves that the hulking monstrosity is working also. Now the 60% sacrifice. Now if we go back to our calculator, if I turn this on, we already know that this 15% is working for the skeleton warrior, right? This is working for the skeleton warrior. We are using the reapers. Okay, we are using the reapers. Maybe to make this work properly, let me turn off the piece of the black shroud. If I'm going to turn off the piece of the black shroud, turning this off, so we should be expecting 35 and then 80.4. 35 and 80.4. And then 438. So that is 33 and then 75. Yep. That's the one. So that's the one on our calculator. So because when we remove one of the piece of the black shroud, so it reduces also our minion skill. So it went down to 438. So 74.8. So that's close. And then 33.3k. So that is also close. Now, to really test if, according to the hulking monstrosity, when we sacrifice any of our warriors, so in the case of the Reaper, we get that 15% increase in damage, right? The Reapers. If I add the 60%, right? So we know that when we sacrifice the warrior, this is activated. So we should be expecting 61 now. To test this even further, let's remove the sacrifice. Turning on the hulking monstrosity. Now let's sacrifice the Reaper. So here, when we sacrifice the Reaper, so we should be expecting 38.3 and then 86.3. Why you're not adding again? Oh, I'm going to remove the hulking monstrosity, right? No, the hulking monstrosity is also added. Oh no, if I'm going to add the hulking monstrosity, it's going to add... Okay, let's go back here. If I'm going to sacrifice the Reaper, it will automatically activate the 60. So this is how it's going to look like. So we already know that the 15% is applying. So when we sacrifice the Reapers, the 15% activates, which is working. And that 60% coming from the hulking monstrosity should be working. So this is the one that we are going to test. Hulking monstrosity is also working. So we have turned off the piece of the black shroud, so that's it doesn't interfere with our skills. So we should be expecting 61.4, 138.1. And look at the damage that we're doing. 49.8 and then crit at 111. 49.8 and then 111. 49 and then 111,000. Now, this is the part that I'm kind of intrigued. When I tested this yesterday, if I'm going to... Is it close to what... So the Reapers are only adding 30%. And then the defenders, take note, the defenders, I don't know how much that they're adding, but when we activate the defenders, the defenders only adds resistances, so we don't have this one. So how much is the defenders is going to do? So 97.3, 43.3. Is this the one? This is the same. So the warrior sacrifice is only providing 30%. Okay? Warrior sacrifice from hulking is only 30. This is unfortunate. Like, I have already released the video yesterday and then I just found out like it's in, well, I mean, it means that there's still more that our golem can do in terms of DPS. Now, next, let's remove this. Let's turn on the mages, but we need to turn on the vulnerable here as well. So again, skeleton mages, they're doing 20% on the cold mages. So we should be expecting 59.5 and then 134,096. So let's turn off the hulking monstrosity for the meantime just to see how is our damage is doing. So we should be expecting 29.7 and then 67. Again, let's unsacrifice the And then let's sacrifice the mages. And then we apply the vulnerable. I think I'm still activated the Hulky. Let's turn off the Hulky monstrosity. So we see 27, 29.7, 29.7, 66.8. This is the one. Close, right? So now that we know that when the enemies are in vulnerable state, that's the condition of the multiplier damage of the mages. So we get this multiplier damage to vulnerable enemies. So now we activate the monstrosity. Again, sacrificing the cold, we are expecting that is also 60%. So we should be expecting 95.5, 95.3, and then 214. Sacrifice the cold, activate the golem. Let's refresh the dummy just to ensure that we're having the correct values. Now, let's apply the vulnerable. 173 and 77.3. And 73, 77, 300. Now, again, this is different. What if this is also 30%? That's the one. That is the one. Now let's sacrifice. The thing is, are we getting only half if we sacrifice only one of the skeleton warriors and mages? So now let's apply everything. So we should be expecting like this, activating everything, right? So when we vulnerable without critting, we should be expecting 175 and 394. Let's refresh. Uh, 175, 394. Vulnerable. 121, 273. 121, 273. Is this really 31%? Oops. $74,167. 167. There is an inconsistency that is going on here. $49.8 and then 112. So that's the one, right? So that's the one. So this one is correct. So let's turn this off. Let's remove 30 here. If we activate the mages, we turn on the vulnerable, and then we assume that this is 30 also. So it's 77 and then 174. Right, it's close. 77.3 and then 173. So this one is working with regards to the sacrifice bonus from the values 20 and then 30 and then 15 and then 30. Yeah, the 49.8 and then the 111. Now, again, if we sacrifice both of them, sacrifice the cold, sacrifice the reapers, then we apply the vulnerable, we're only getting 121, critting at 273. Yeah, vulnerable is only, we are only getting the vulnerable at, so equals I'll write it down if you want. 1.2020 times 1.24, 1.49. I don't see that I'm missing any vulnerable damage here. Am I missing any vulnerable state here? Or is it because of this one? That's the one. 48.8. If I will remove this one, so where is our other? Okay. $1,046, 1766, 438. Increase damage to vulnerable enemies by the amount of cold mages, and then golem gains increased damage of 60% multiplicative. Why it's only 273 and then 121? So basically this is correct, so we're getting that additional 120 and then 124. But we should be expecting at 121. So which one is being added here? I feel like there is a discrepancy that it's happening here, like 32.5, like something like that, or 33. This is 33 also. I feel like that is what's happening here, or like 34, 34. I think it's 33.5 or something. Oops. Warrior sacrifice, Reaper, and Cold Mage sacrifice from hulking is only 30%. Sacrificing both is now 33%. Now, if we turn on the piece of the Black Shroud, and then this will become 469, we should be expecting 356, 803. $469. How much again? 356, 803. Let's refresh. See, that's the one. 806, 359. It's close. Again, there's a discrepancy depending on depending on the exact multiplier, if there's a roundup on our multiplier on our affix, right? So, but it's close to what we have there. So basically, from what we know, somehow we are only getting 33%. But why is that? Like, where is the 33 or the 30% is coming from? I was thinking, is it because the 60% of 15, it doesn't make sense. 60% of 15, it's just, but it didn't say that it will only increase the sacrifice upgrade. It says when you sacrifice, it adds an additional 60%. Does the sacrifice only happening once? No, the 100. Let's turn off the piece of the Black Shroud again, and then this is become 438. No, it's not. Right? So this one is trying to check if maybe that 60% is only whatever sacrifice that we made, but this is very clear that the 60%, this is 33 and 33, right? Again, 438, 121, and then it's 72. I think it becomes 33.5. One two one 273, right? 121 73, and then 359 806 or 803. Crit Golem 806. Right, so that's without the piece of the Black Shroud, that's 122, then 273, right? I think this is just 33. And then when we turn on the piece of the Black Shroud, that's 300. Then this is going to be 469. So 356, and then the 803, the one that we are seeing a while ago, right? So Now for the passive attack is going to deal 200%, which is 152, 342. Why the damage is now different? This is strange. When we attack the golem, his damage is now 451. What? Now he's doing 201. And 451k. Again, without the mages, again, if we go back here, now again, I'm assuming that we are now getting the 60%, 60%, 15, but we don't have the vulnerable, right? And then we have the piece of the Black Shroud, 469. We are doing 201. Oh, sorry. Because I was testing the passive attack. So it should be this one, 469. So now where is the... This is weird. Yeah, I said sacrificing both is going to be 33, right? So we're just behind. So now we have activated the piece of the Black Shroud with the same affixes, same Hulking Monstrosity. So do we think this is 33.5 that I was thinking a while ago? Yeah. So sacrificing both is 33.5. I don't know what happened a while ago. Or is it because I turned off the piece of the black shroud? And then if I'm going now to turn on the vulnerable damage, this one will have the 20%. So we're expecting that 359 and then 809. Yeah, 806 and then a 359k. But it's close, right? And again, there might be some rounding off on the critical strike damage here that it's not being considered here. I think that's the discrepancy is coming from, because probably this one is not 23.5, maybe this is just 22 point something. That's why ours is a little bit 3k higher than what we're having here. So okay, well that proves that it's really 33.5. Another one that I have tested also yesterday, if the Radaman's Desecration, when we produce the corpse, we should now be expecting 4, 6, 7, 1,052,000. So now let's equip the Radaman's Desecration here, but we're gonna get how much now? 5, 3, 8. And what is still what else is being added? Forming or consuming a corpse. Okay. This is now 538. I think we can produce the corpse from the sever. Five, 3, 5, 1, 202. Is this the one? It's working, right? The Radaman's Desecration is also applying. So that is good. Now, the moment of truth. Sacrificial aspect. Would the sacrificial aspect increases at 120%? I think I have 116% currently. So let's try this again. No vulnerable damage. Let's remove the mages for the meantime. We still have the hulking monstrosity, but I guess we get that 33.5, right? But no additional vulnerable damage. So we should be expecting, so if this one is going to be equals to, probably I'm gonna add the multiplier here. So this is going to be this number. Then this one is 112%. This one plus 1. Then number. Am I correct? 15 times 1 point. No, times 2.12, right? 31.8. Okay. It's working. And then the sacrifice mage bonus here is going to be times this. Then I'm going to turn this off for a while. Then I'm gonna remove this for the meantime. So just for the skeleton warrior, we know if we're only sacrificing the warrior, this should also be 30%. But this one plus 112%, right? Considering that it is still 30%. Because what if when we apply the sacrificial aspect, this sacrifices self-correct? It's going to correct itself, you know what I mean? Now to test our hulking monstrosity, before we do that, let's turn this off. So see, I did wherein it automatically turns off this when there is no sacrifice from the hulking monstrosity. So we're going to apply now the sacrifice aspect. So we have, I think if we're gonna apply it here, sacrifice is 77. Now it becomes 116. So now we apply this one. Let's unsacrifice the mages. Let's remove the hulking monstrosity for the meantime. So we have the Radament's Desecration. We have the Form a Corpse there. So we're getting that 30% damage 30% multiplier damage. So everything is working. The only thing that we have changed is now we added this 116%. So this is now the new multiplier. So we should be expecting by sacrificing the Reapers, we should be hitting around 97 and then 218. I think we need to turn off the Radament's Desecration because it also applies vulnerable. But if we turn on the vulnerable, right? Since we don't have the skeletal mages, I mean it should be okay. $249 and then 110. I think there is a inconsistency. Let's remove the Radament's Desecration for now. Okay, so now we can see here now this is now the value. So it is correct here. The 111 and then the 249. I turned off the Radament's Desecration. I believe this creates inconsistency. Probably we need to form a new corpse in order for this to work. No, this one should be 469 now. Because I removed the Radament's Desecration. So according to our damage, we are hitting around 145 and then 64.9. This is now 469. $145, 64.9. I turned off the hulking monstrosity now. So no more of this. Just this one. There. Because I turned on the vulnerable damage. So now we're close. Meaning, this also proves that the sacrificial aspect boosts the base warrior sacrifice damage. We know a while ago, if we just sacrifice the warrior, when we turn on the hulking monstrosity, this one is only 30%. So we should be expecting 214 and then 482 when we turn on the hulking monstrosity. Again, no skeletal mages, just the warrior. $480, 214. That's the one. So meaning that the sacrifice aspect is working properly. However, that the value of the sacrifice of the warrior is not 30%, is not 60%, but it's only 30%. And again, if we sacrifice them both, according to our testing a while ago, it's going to be 33.5. Now let's add the mages now. Let's test the mages. Let's turn off. Oops, maybe. We turn this on. Turn this on for the vulnerable. So we should be expecting to hit around 345, 776, 542. And sacrifice only the mages. Again, 345, 776. Let's refresh. That's the one. 773 344. Well, it's working. Now with that said, which one is going to be much more better here? I think I'm wearing sacrificial, crushing, reanimation. I mean, I can place reanimation here, or maybe the Hellbent Commander, for example. Yeah. I mean, this could have been better if we placed the reanimation on the amulet. Oh my god. How much is our Hellbent Commander? 90%. And then Hulking Monstrosity, Radaman's Desecration. Let's apply Vulnerable. So if I add the Hellbent Commander now at 90%, then we add the Radaman's Desecration, then this is going to be 538. Yep, when we form new corps, 2284 1016, 2284 1016. Okay. We form a new corps, 1016k, and 2284. What did I say? 2284 1016. So that's the one. It's working. But apparently the Hellbent Bender is going to outperform. So basically if that 60%, because that is huge, because that 60% is also it's going to be scaled by the, so imagine that is 116, right? Like 30 additional 116, so that's huge. But apparently it's not working, so that's the thing. Right, it's going to be 216, so that's the 60 is going to be 20% more, like 132 at 120%. And so that is huge. Now this is going to be much more better if we're going to place the, so it's gonna be much more better if we place the reanimation to the amulet and then Hellbent Commander in the gloves. Right, if we're going to see if, how much is our multiplier, how much are we increasing, by the way. So this is 1.15. So this is 1.15 times 1.34 times 1.2 times 1.34. Right? So that is 2447 multiplier in total. If we add the 116, so even at the maximum one, oh! Ah, okay. It added. So this is 200, and then if we add it to 120%, and then this one adds as well. So this is 1.33 times 1.74 times 1.74 times 1.44 times 1.74. This minus this is 332. So the difference between the two, to 899. Why it's different on my sheet here? Oh, because of the Hellbent Commander. Let's turn off the Hellbent Commander. 12899, 1290, 2899, 1290. Where is the discrepancy is coming from? This is 15, right? Multiplied by 216. This one also at 133. This one we have already turned on the 538. No more Hellbent Commander, but we are activating the sacrificial aspect. But no Hellbent Commander. Piece of the Black Shroud and then Radament's Desecration is activated. Vulnerable from the corpse. One 290 to 899. What am I missing here? This is 20%, so that's correct. This is 15. And then we are increasing the sacrifice bonuses by 216. So if I turn off the hulking monstrosity again, so no more sacrifice bonuses, but I still have the both. This one, $206, $465. That's the one. So meaning that proves that this one is working. So the 116 is being applied properly on the bonus of the damage here. And then all of our charms are working okay also. So now when we turn on the hulking monstrosity again, so again let's double check. Hellbent Commander is 0. Hulking monstrosity will turn on. Then this one is activated, but we should be expecting 12282763, and I believe this is, there is some kind of discrepancy that is happening. Okay, I don't know what is going on, but somehow, how much is the damage again? So it is 2899, 1290. 22, what's it? 2899. Yeah, 2899. What if I'll just say this is equal to this, right? What if this is, we're gonna do a trial and error here. Wow, it's really close. Maybe 34 or 35 is like this. And again, I believe there is a discrepancy on our multiplier, our critical strike damage, because of the rounding off. It's only 5k. Yeah, now sacrificing both with sacrificial aspect equip. Bonus is 35.5%. Oh, this is sad. Sad that we're not getting that full benefit of the multiplier damage. Now here is the interesting part. Another one. The one that has a bug also. Wow, I wasn't able to play today, but it's okay. At least we're checking. One 1290 to 899. Again, if we're going to equip the Hellbent Commander, which one is better again? Or maybe the reanimation here. After 10 seconds, right? Is it 10 seconds? I guess it's already 10 seconds. Okay, this is really proves that even though the sacrificial our sacrifice bonus from the hulking monstrosity is we're getting less, the one that we checked a while ago, without the sacrificial aspect, our multiplier damage from all of this effect is 2.48 multiplier. Now, when we apply the 116, it goes up to 3. It adds an additional 3.11 multiplier. Now, if we're going to use this, and then we add 2.35, why is it that the reanimation was not able to outperform this one? This is 5.82, this is 558. Right, the damage of the sacrificial aspect with the same bonus, it is only 1257. Yeah, this is really intriguing. Again, nothing. Then we go back to 33.5. And then how about we turn on another one called but I'll use the 135%. Let's check this. 1260 1836. Right, 2.35. That's the one that we're seeing, right? 1260. $2825. Actually, it's 1257 28 1257 2825. I mean, it's still close. But why is it? I thought that it's only 577. So I guess because of there's a rounding off that happened here, maybe it went up to 5.82. And then if I add 116, then I turn this off. So this is 5.63. It's only 5.7 5.82, but how come oh yeah, we found out that this is 35.5 approximately to get that 1290 and then 2899. And take note that the reanimation and the Hulk and the Hellbent Commander is maximum. If we get this to maximum, then this is going to be 1384, much more. Okay, it's now 5.91. So we see now 5.91 against 5.82, and I think Hellbent Commander is, oops. But at least this is a good test. So again, if we are not sacrificing using the sacrificial aspect, and then we turn on the Hellbent Commander, so this is the multiplier damage look like. $1,019. I forgot the how much is. $5.91. And then reanimation is 1,260. How much is the total multiplier? This is sacrificial. Reanimation 5.77. I'll close it to 578. Of course, Hellbent would be much more smaller at 90% only. Yep, 2284 and then 116. Basically, that's the one. Again, we're close. There's some kind of discrepancy again with the multiplier here. Again, what is this? Is just went back to. No, that is still 33.3. Right? So the multiplier from the Hellbent is 4.67, much more smaller. So even though again the sacrificial is, it's still gonna outperform, especially when our sacrifice is now gonna be at 120%. Okay, that's good to know that our sacrifice, in spite of we have already uploaded the planner yesterday, sacrificial is still outperforming the other aspects. Okay. Let me bring back the sacrificial aspect. Where is the discrepancy is coming from again? 1290. Oh, okay. Okay. Bone Storm. If I activate the Bone Storm, we will have 2 Bone Storm. So we will get an additional 30, so that's an additional 60% damage multiplier on our critical strike damage. So equipment, uniques, I have a uniques here. Unique items, let's insert one more row here. Probably let's put it in an alphabetical order. Leadless wall, okay, it's here. I'll just assume 2 storms, so that is going to be 60, so we should be hitting around 2 million and then 4.6. Three storms, including the enemy. 3 million, 15 million crit. As you can see, there's also a bug that is happening, like we're spawning a lot of bone storm. We added intelligence at 200, is now 1376. If we are spawning 5, I didn't see how many bone storm that spawned though. Three. Four. We crit at 5.3. Three, 2, 1, 0. And then he activated the bone storm again. Now we have 4 stacks. Give a second. Oh my god, this is crazy. Five, 433 at 4 storms. It's kind of difficult. Can we turn this off again? Because I don't know if which one is on the golem and which one is on the bone storm. Eight, 026. Eight, 7. But I don't have the bone storm anymore. Maximum life. What else? Each sacrifice bonus increases this chance by 25%, allows you to spawn one additional bone storm. Each active bone storm grants 30% critical strike damage up to 150%. Right now we are doing 6836 and 3053. But why? Oh, the weapon damage. 3532. It says 3 million and 6.8 without the bone storm. And then bone storm at 120 per. Oh yeah, I see now the 15 million. 4 stacks, give me 4 stacks. 15 million. 15 million. This one. But somehow, I don't know, it's kind of diminish here. See, that's the 50 million. And then normal damage 7 million. Okay, let's remove. Okay, let's despawn the bone storm. There's one more thing I want to check. This one. Our summoning damage increases by 23%. What is now our intelligence? 1503. No more additional damage here, just a 23% multiplier. 1503. Let's go back here. This is now going to be 1503. And then now we have a new unique item. The undercrown. The undercrown. So no lidless wall, just the underground. Why it's still here? This is just 23%. So 3.9, 8.9. Oh, 3 minion skills. This is now 575. Yep, it's working. It says 429 4239 9522. That's the one. So the undercrown is working. Then I believe when we do the passive attack, it's only 1.4 and then 3.3. Yeah. Can you crit? Yeah. But I'm not doing the radaments. Fly. 3.3 crit. That's the one. Apply the radament again. Boom. 3.3. So that's the one. Can you see it? Sorry. 1.4 normal, but we're just gonna focus on it because there's so many things that's happening here. Radament. Corpse. 1.4. The normal damage a while ago. 3.3 on crit. That's the one. So what's happening here, according to the active skill, the golem will do a 200% of the damage. So this one, it doesn't increases no matter how you increase the rank of the golem. The only thing that increases here is the damage of the golem itself. That's good, that's good. Okay, there's one more I want to test. Probably I'll be able to do one run today. And then tomorrow we're gonna continue our grinding tomorrow, as the build that I'm planning to work on is not the Army of the Dead, because now that I have, what I'm looking forward is, how is our, do we have everything? Requiem, Frozen Memories. Okay, do we have Torment? That's what we need also. Torment. Okay, so we have the important aspects on our gear. So this is the one I'm planning to do. Since at least the leadless wall is still working, so we can do that. There's one more thing that I want to test here. So I believe we have so many corpses here. So it added how many? So we now have intelligence of 1553. Damage, I believe it now changed to summoning 70, same. All damage is now 114.5. No added critical strike damage. Same. Damage to elites is now 119.3. Healthy still 25. Okay. According to our Gravekeeper glyph, because we have 6 corpses here, we get 18% multiplier damage. And then since the enemy is healthy, it receives an additional 18.3 multiplier damage. So if we go now to our calculator again, glyph, we have another set of glyph here. Gravekeeper. Gravekeeper bonus. Gravekeeper legendary bonus. This is 18. This one is currently at 18.3. Basically, there's one more when the enemy is healthy, right? Legendary bonus. Probably I'll just do this one is not activated, but this one, just in case the enemy is injured, it should be the same. Still the same. Sacrifice. $2.6, 5.9. 7646 and then 17 million? What if we turn off I'm still wearing the undercrown, right? Okay, the multiplier of the undercrown is still there. I was... Oh, okay. 14.5 6480 14.5 6480 14.5 6480. I feel like there's discrepancy that is going on here. I still have the undercrown here. Again, weapon damage 3532. 3532, that's correct. Intelligence is, this is the one I'm always making mistakes, 1553. And then passive attack, the main damage 575, that is still correct. We are going to apply vulnerable, critical strike damage. Nothing is changed even on our I think on our helm we have only Nagu and Q. That's it. There's no additional cooldown reduction. We have already added the intelligence here. $14.5. Let me just check very quickly here. Again, no additive on our crit damage and vulnerable. Summon damage 70, all damage 114.5, 70, 114.5. Shadow damage, no additional shadow damage. Then Golem at 162.5. Elites 119.3. Damage to healthy. So what did I do wrong here? I would say it's still the same. Still the same with underground. We're short by 2 million critical strike damage. Still the same, 24, 27, and then 23. Yeah, nothing is changed here. The only thing that was added is underground. That's correct. Piece of the Black Shroud is still there. Radament's Desecration. Hulking Monstrosities are also activated. The Gravekeeper bonus. Am I missing something here? Oh, I think because the legendary bonus is still activated. That's the one, right? So the legendary bonus is still activated. The only one that is not activated is this. So now we see now the 6472 and then the 14. Okay, now the Gravekeeper is working. 6480 14.5. 6480 14.5. Yep. Those are the numbers. Close. Now if we activate the Gravekeeper bonus, so now we add the 2 dexterity here. 7646 17.1. Yay! So Gravekeeper is working, which I am expecting. So what I still trying to find a way to really make this like more convenient. So for example, so at least the most of the aspects and the way our calculator is working is performing very well. What I'm thinking here, for example, equipment. My plan for this, because it's going to be difficult, right? Like you keep on scrolling on this one, unlike probably on Paragon board or considering that all aspects is basically working, now we can easily test. And then for example, the idea here should be like equipment. If this is unique item, then we can insert a new column here. Let's just say equipment. If this gloves is using aspect or unique, then there will be like a drop down box here. And then my plan is that's why I reason have a skill here, or maybe this one, like see this one, it will have the same column of what we have here. And my plan here is, I don't know if it's going to work, probably when I almost done with most of our builds and we still have the chance to work on this worksheet. My plan here is this will be the collection of all of the global multipliers, and if it has a vulnerable, if it has a critical strike multiplier, we will have what I'm planning to do here is that when we choose, it will create like a drop down box. So based on the information that we have here. So for example, if this aspects, there's a dedicated list for the aspects. There's a dedicated list for unique items, and each unique items will have their own global multipliers, like the Hellbent Commander, and then the Blood Moon Breaches, it has a unique global multiplier. So for example, if we choose on the gloves, so this is Hand of Nuns for example, then it will have its own global multiplier here. So now on the say pants, I'm choosing Blood Moon Breaches, so it will have its own global multiplier here. So the idea here is we can easily convert, right? So we don't have to keep on scrolling for the aspects and the unique items like this one. This one is just a dry run, so to ensure that everything is working properly. Anyway, okay, I think before I end the stream, let's do one more nightmare dungeon. Let's equip this. Sacrificials, everything is still correct. Everything is in order. Oh, there's one more that I have tested yesterday. So based on all of the affix, when we activated the Bone Storm, we can reach a total of almost 100% critical strike chance. And the pack of bone, I really want to take advantage, even though we have only a 3 seconds duration for this multiplier damage. So what I did, and the change that I have made yesterday was when I was optimizing and then trying to create the build planner, is instead of using the Litany of Death, I'm using the Service and Sacrifice. So this one is going to be very, very efficient in producing on sacrificing the warriors. That way, it will frequently trigger the minion death requirement for the pack of bone to get that additional multiplier damage. I think let's try the pack of bone tomorrow if the pack of bone is also working, right? I haven't tested that. But anyway, for the sake of at least we can do one run today. Speaking of I need also gem. But I need the escalation sigil though. Are we on torment 11? Let's see if we are on torment 10. Let's jump on torment 11. Okay, this will be my last run for tonight. I know at least you can see how our damage calculator is working, and I'm also happy that the calculators, and at least now we can easily check and compare. And the idea also of why I created that damage calculator, to understand how our damage work, and in the future when we have new aspects, new changes on our build, we can apply all of the necessary affixes. What will be our total intelligence, what will be our total damage, and then we can approximate like, we now have a better Blood Moon breaches, for example. The Maze of King Leoric got nerfed. Then we can apply those changes and their values on our damage calculator, and we can see whether are we getting less damage or are we still okay. And then in the future, if there will be like a new mechanic and new updates on unique, then when we apply those new items, then we can see now, this damage now increases our damage by, say, an additional almost 10% than before. Then we can now theory craft, if we're going to use this, we can apply this setup, which is going to significantly improve our damage. So yeah, so that's the idea behind it. Okay, last run. My first and last run for tonight. Anyway, we're gonna continue with this tomorrow. I think I'm going to do an escalating nightmare dungeon tomorrow to complete that war plan. Five, 3, 6, 7, 5, 3, 6, 7, 5, 3, 8, 6, 14, 6, 20, 7, 30, 5, 6, 5, 3, 6, so that's 14 plus 6, so that's 20, 27,000. I think for all gems, you're getting less, but you have different gems across. What if I use the Godslayer crown? I don't have the Omen of Bane. And also the reason why I'm also testing with the normal damage, like why do I need to pay attention to normal damage? Because if we're going to do the damage over time, then we are making sure that the calculator is still gonna work for damage over time damage. Because what if the critical strike damage is working on our calculator and then apparently the damage over time is not working, because our normal damage, we're not accounting the and checking the normal damage as well, because damage over time doesn't crit. Yeah, I think for speed farming I need to use the Godslayer crown and then Omen of Pain. 2.87. There's still more room to improve our damage here. Our glyphs is just, I believe I managed to level up all of the glyphs to 90 now. Because if all enemies are being pulled together, that's going to be easier for our golem to kill them simultaneously. I mean, if I'm going to create another build, I don't know if I can create another build for this week. Probably we can, given that we have a lot of materials. We now have 6,000 Forgotten Souls, we have 28, 155, we have 94 Scroll of Restoration. What is this? Fading Echo. Is this part of... Because normally it's always you're gonna deal with the boss, right? One attuned. Wind Slicer. What is that one? One-hand weapon? Oh, two. Whoa. Right. That's the one I'm always looking for. Weapon damage. Okay. And then ooh, Skull Reserve. I just did we do this now? Well, there is a Whisper and plus it has a Skull Reserve. Okay, let's do this one more run. I just realized yesterday I was looking for an Escalation Sigil. I forgot that you can craft an Escalation Sigil by amalgating or transmuting 5 normal dungeon to the Horadric Cube. I mean, I can put you there because you have good multiplier damage there. Although I already turned you to a legendary, but we can add like maybe a multiplier damage. And speaking of, where is my pack of bone? Is this one? This one. Waboom! Kaboom! We can roll the armor with cooldown reduction. This one has 2 good multiplier damage with GA in intelligence. But since I have already updated this build, probably I'm just gonna... Where's the Omen of Pain? So we have more cooldown, but we can pull the enemies. And then we're gonna use this one. Do I have a spare Nagu and Q? Nagu. Do I have a Q? Wow, I don't have a Q? Ew. I hope I don't forget that I have to swap with that one. So I guess if our glyphs and then we equip most of our gear, and then take note, we haven't crafted our Mace of King Leoric to mythic item. Right? Easy peasy. Ooh. Smack him, Golem. Smack him. Oop, oop, oop. $130K, come on. I'm excited to run an escalation sigil tomorrow, and I want to see. Remember last time when I did the escalation sigil on the previous season, that I noticed that on the second and the third tier, that the rewards on whether gems or forgotten souls or gold, it increases like almost by 100% for every floor. So what if we get a topaz what if we get a topaz what's that, the upgrade, the altar, Horadric altar. But the thing is, we need gold, because if I'm going to swap, because I'm already using this one. Oh shoot, I don't have mercenary heart. This one, right? I need these two. These two. Probably we can add 2 more points once we have upgraded our activity tree, I guess. We can add 2 more points. Oh shoot, I forgot the... Oh, okay, there. I thought I forgot the... because I was doing some testing a while ago. Sorry, ma'am. I think this is the last one before we jump into the Queen's Lair. You think there's something here? Nothing. Okay. Time for the queen. What? Triple GA, what? Attunement. No attunement. How much is our skull now if we're going to craft a diamond? 1.5. Jesus. Oh, I still like this one. I can roll the shadow resistance with, replace it with another, but double GL intelligence and then damage. I can remove the shadow resistance and then replace it with offensive and then add one more damage defensive as affix, either life or armor. Nice. Maybe I can keep you for the meantime. And I have added Abyssal instead of Dead Racer. Probably I can start moving. We have golem damage here. Okay, that's it for me today. So we're gonna continue with starting with an escalation sigil tomorrow, because I need to complete the escalation sigil in order to complete the war plan, and by that time I believe we will be able to upgrade our to get one more upgrade. Yay, gold. And yep, before I forget, I need that Nagu back, sir. Dungeon Delve. I think Dungeon Delve is still okay now because I salvaged so many Dungeon Delve. I could have made those Dungeon Delves to convert it into Escalation Sigil. So yeah, I'm going to complete the Escalation Sigil. So we have 1, 2, 467, 137, so 264 and then 267. So that will upgrade our Nightmare Dungeon to add one more here. And then probably I'm gonna remove 2 points here. How many is 5 million? It's not that expensive, so that we can go with these 2 additional Heraldic portals. This is the one that we're going to will take advantage of in order to get 2 portals out of, so we can now have 3 Heraldic portals that we can choose to increase our chance, like salvaging materials like a material reserve, or especially the gems. If we are getting, based on my observation yesterday, if we are getting 250,000 gem, I think not just 250,000, close to 500 if I'm not mistaken. So imagine at lower tier, higher tier, or lower tier on the escalating dungeon, probably you can craft one grand gem on just one run, if you're lucky to get that on the second or the tier 3 run of a specific dungeon. Of a specific gem. And hopefully that's the gem that you're looking for. That's going to be amazing. So anyway, yeah, we're just gonna continue farming tomorrow, as I'm planning to play the Cold Mages next before we play the Army of the Dead. So I still need to farm, and then we still have Lair Bosky that I want to farm, and hoping to get the a mythic item drop so that we can equip it on our looking for a Blood Moon Breaches, Pack of Bone, or the Undercrown that we can use on most of the builds that we are going to play. So Vengeful Sinew also, Ebon Piercer, what else? Those are the items. Signet of Pelgane. So far we have the mythic drop on the Sanguivore Blade of Zir with the GA on weapon damage. Then we can maybe craft a Undercrown maybe as our second mythic item when we play the Army of the Dead. So yeah, that's it for me today. Thank you very much for watching and for tuning in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, and have a good one. Bye.